All right. 3, 2, 1. All right. Welcome to Saturday Morning Movie Podcast, episode 4. Finally getting to Revenge of the Sith. We had a little break from the Star Wars, but back into it. I'm joined, as always, by my brother, Vinny.
What's up?
I'm Dom. How you been, man, since the last time we filmed?
Pretty good. Yeah, just working a lot like usual.
Yeah, usual type shit.
Yeah. Watched what did I watch? We were just talking about it.
We were talking about Killing of the Sacred Deer
Mm-hmm.
when we weren't on.
Yeah, we both saw that. That was pretty good.
Yeah, I really liked it. I made a TikTok about some of the movies I watched this past month, and that was in there. I watched most of that director Yorgos Lanthimos films now. Got one more to go. Yeah, and then we saw Immaculate together. It was all right.
Yeah.
I thought the first hour was kind of lackluster, honestly.
I just wasn't. That movie was almost putting me to sleep, kind of
Really?
for a while.
I
Yeah.
just felt like, and this is like light spoilers. I felt like just the jump scares had like nothing to do with the movie
Yeah.
because it was just there so that you could have like kind of a scary movie.
Right.
But I liked the twist. I liked kind of the last 30-ish minutes of it. I thought were fine. That's just
See,
me.
like the twist, I was like expecting it.
Really, the whole
Yeah.
way.
Yeah. I knew that they were up to something.
Well, yeah, like you knew they were up to something. I just wasn't expecting the thing that it was. I guess that's just me. Um, what else? Yeah, I have been playing couple games. I because I deleted the slot we talked last time, so
Yeah.
I've been playing Sifu,
That game's sick.
really fun fighting game. And then I've been really just in the mood for like a fantasy kind of game. So I got Dragon Age Inquisition. It's about decade old game, but it's a lot of fun. I've been playing the mage,
Yeah.
leading my party. Uh,
I tried to. We both tried to get in that
yeah,
game like years ago, like basically like when it came out,
we
and
both were like, "This isn't like Skyrim," and we just fucking
yeah.
turned it
But
off,
at
basically.
that time, like RPGs, we weren't really
Yeah,
besides Skyrim. Like I feel like we didn't really play many RPGs.
yeah. I had my experience with RPGs at that point was like Skyrim, and maybe I played Mass Effect 3 at that point.
Okay,
I can't remember.
I vaguely remember playing that game a little bit,
Hmm.
but not a lot.
But I heard Dragon's Dogma 2 is pretty fun, so I might
Yeah,
get that. We'll see. Um,
yeah. I heard it's really good, but I don't know, man. Like I barely even played The Witcher 3
yeah,
still, and I know it's gonna be that kind of a game,
yeah,
and I don't know if I want to dive into another game like that yet.
yeah,
That's a game for me that I might wait for like a Civ or
yeah. I don't know. I think I know what you mean though. It's kind of you have to be in the right mood to play certain kind of games.
something. Yeah, and right now I'm kind of playing like a bunch of different things, and
Yeah,
that's a game that's gonna take like
a
a
lot
lot
of
of time.
time. Hmm.
So I just don't. I'm not ready for that commitment, I guess.
Yeah.
But dude, you need to play Ghost of Tsushima.
Yeah, dude, I still haven't played that. But
That game is
I've
sick.
heard it's a lot of fun.
It's sick. The story's
I've
great
seen so
too.
many like clips from it too, and it looks really good.
Yeah,
Like the visuals look really good, even for a game.
for a game as old as it is.
Yeah,
Like I think 6 years old now.
yeah. Speaking of things that came out a while ago, my wife. So there's certain shows and things when you're married and movies that you have to like wait for your significant other. So we both watched Game of Thrones. I watched it a while ago. She just finished it like last year,
And
2023.
she liked it,
She
right?
really liked it.
Yeah.
She would not watch it for so many years, no matter how many times I told her. And then finally, like someone at her job
Of
told her
course.
to watch it, and so
It's all
then
it's never you. It's
yeah,
always some
exactly.
random person,
So
dude.
she finally gave it a shot, and so we've been wanting to watch House of the Dragon. She kept putting it off for a while. She finally was in the mood to watch it. We basically binged it in like a week and a half.
Mm.
I fucking loved it, dude. I thought that season was better than season 1 of Game of Thrones. It's not a completely fair comparison because they've had all the time to like learn from the mistakes of the first season.
Yeah, but I mean, still though.
But I looked it up. It's a completely different showrunner, writers.
Yeah.
It's so and it does kind of like a different vibe to me at least. I don't know about what you're because you watched it a while ago when it first came out.
Yeah, I watched it like you said when it first came out, and I was like, bro, you need to watch this shit. It's so
Yeah.
good. I tried to get Dad to watch it. He said he started it and he just could never
He
get
said
into
that
it.
he liked the Witcher show better than
See,
House of the
that's
Dragon.
whack. But
Yeah.
no, House of the Dragon is better.
Yeah.
I watched maybe like 2 episodes of The Witcher, and I was like, no, this is not it.
I got like halfway through the first season of The Witcher and it just yeah, I couldn't finish it.
Dude, and like also like when are they gonna just let like Walking Dead shit die?
Completely off topic.
Yeah,
I don't.
dude,
I've heard
it's just been bothering me. It looks decent,
me.
right?
Yeah,
But
me.
like, dude, come on.
Me personally, like I'm pretty much done with those characters. Like I got
Yeah,
what I needed out of it.
yeah.
Even if I like you said, I have heard that the Rick Michonne
The ones who
series,
live.
yeah, is pretty decent.
Yeah.
But like, I don't know about you either. But like, I'm pretty like zombied out.
Yeah,
Yeah,
man. Yeah, like that genre in general is just like all
like
right.
if there's something that's like,
But then again, the best parts of that show were
yeah,
not even with the zombies.
but just even just anything that like takes place in that kind of like it has to be something that very like
So are you done then with like post-apocalyptic shit?
no, because what I was about to say is I think if it's something that like reinvents or like has a unique spin on it, yeah, but like
The new Fallout show.
yeah, maybe I'll give that a
It's
shot.
got what's his name in it?
Yeah, the guy from Justified
Yeah,
and
what the fuck?
I can't remember.
He was
his
in
name.
Hateful Eight.
Yeah, he's a good actor. He was in Vice Principals. I can't remember his fucking name. He's
Playing like a ghoul bounty hunter. In
yeah,
that
it's
show.
like oh dude, it's like right there. I can't remember.
Is it a D or with a D?
I thought he had like Bobby in his name or something like
Man, I
that.
have no idea.
I might give the new Fallout show a chance. Prime is very hit or miss with their shows to me.
Okay, Invincible.
Still haven't watched season 2.
Wait, you haven't even started it?
No, because
Don't.
I was waiting
Yeah,
for
just wait.
it all to come out at once.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because I'm pretty sure the finale is coming out soon.
Yeah. So once it comes out,
dude.
but yeah, like Amazon shows though in general, dude. Like
Oh, I want
Invincible, good show. Uh, The Boys, good show.
that's coming back.
I'm not up to date on that either.
What?
Dude, I'm so bad at watching TV shows.
I watched. Dude, that was good.
It's just like like literally like a new season will come out of something, and I'm like, yeah, I'll get to that. And then like another new season comes out, and then it's like it's just
You're already behind.
yeah, and it's like fuck. And then like your another one of your shows comes out with a season,
Yep.
and it's like I have a lot of shit I have to watch. But then like I don't know. I've heard like the Wheel of Time. I've heard that's garbage.
I didn't even hear about that. What is that?
It's the Wheel of Time is like a really popular fantasy book series. There's like
Okay.
a shit ton of books from what I know. And I just heard that it's straight garbo. Like it's the I've seen like I think I watched the first episode. The costumes were terrible, the effects were terrible, and then I've heard it's just a terrible adaptation. Brother.
Brother.
But yeah, then like the Lord of the Rings show, I'm not even gonna watch that. Like Rings of Power.
Oh.
What the fuck were you thinking?
I thought you were talking about War of the Rohirrim.
No, that's a new animated movie that's coming out this year. I'm excited for that.
It better be good.
Yeah.
I'm a huge Lord of the Rings fan.
Yeah.
And Rings of Power was not it.
Did you watch it?
I couldn't get past like the first episode.
I'm like that too, though, dude. Like,
Dude, all right.
It's hard.
Here's the thing. I'm not a big show guy in general, right? So the first episode really has to
see. That's what I was gonna say. Is that
get me?
It has to get me, but then there's so many shows.
That doesn't have to be like crazy action. I want good characters and good writing. Yeah. And I want to. If both of those are good enough, it'll make me want to watch.
Okay, what I'll say. Oh shit! I spilled some coffee.
Oh no.
Just a little bit. It's fine. What I'll say is like, from a drama series, I think the first episode has to be good. But I think comedy shows can kind of get away with even their first season not being that good.
Sure, because you could write better jokes.
Like, yeah. Because like for me, like I think like The Office, the first season is just the British Office completely copied. Like Parks and Rec, that's like one of my favorite comedy shows.
That show is.
I didn't like the first season that much. I thought Leslie was like super annoying.
Yeah.
Seinfeld is another
Same with
one.
Michael Scott though.
Yeah, exactly. Like
He's super annoying
because
at
because
first.
he's kind of playing like the British because it's just the same
Yeah,
diet. So
right.
it's more of that humor and like it's not what Steve Carell's like good at. Like he's kind of like a dick more so than he's stupid in the first
Yeah,
season.
he's an ignorant asshole in the first season, but then he becomes the lovable.
Ass like he's
Yeah,
like an ignorant, lovable guy later on.
yeah,
Yeah,
the
but like
lovable idiot. That's what he
even like
becomes.
Seinfeld though, I think the first season's kind of weak.
See, I'm not caught up with my Seinfeld.
I'm
I've seen episodes here and there when they were on TV when I
yeah,
was
like when
younger.
I was growing up, I always saw, but I've actually been watching it. I'm like watching like four shows at the same time right now. So
See,
I'm on like season 3 of Seinfeld. I'm on season 3 of Curb Your Enthusiasm,
I
which
fucking love that show.
written by Larry David, who wrote Seinfeld. And then I'm also been watching Veep. It's another HBO show with another person from Seinfeld, Louis Dreyfus.
Yeah,
I'm on like season 2 of that. That's really good.
is she Richard Dreyfuss's daughter?
Is that even who is? Is that the right person I'm thinking of? Is that her name?
I have no idea.
I'm pretty sure that's her name. I don't have my phone. I'm using it to record. Yeah, we're still using the phone.
Yeah,
Still
bro.
using the shitty mics. The setup will change eventually.
Yeah, we're getting there. I'm very
Yeah,
close
we're
to.
close to a lot of things.
Yeah, things are gonna be
The,
changing.
the new mics are super close to being able to use. I just have to get one more thing.
Okay.
Uh
And then like so we got the mics. The next thing probably is gonna be a camera.
yeah.
Um, then eventually we want to like kind of have like a whole desk set up and
Yeah, get off
everything.
the casting couch.
Yeah, it's a little. Dude, okay. I just don't like having to do this all the time.
Yeah, and like
And then look at the camera.
and
Like,
also this couch is like super old, so we
yeah,
both kind of like sink into it. Like a lot of our other
the
videos.
seats are like surprisingly
Yeah.
like they stick out a lot. So I feel like I'm just
Yeah,
like,
we changed the angle again. Hopefully this will be one of the last times because fucking like the last time is just like at our like
crotch
crotches, and we're
level, and
like,
I'm like, yeah,
I tried to like crop it out as best I could in the video, but
yeah.
like yeah. Um, so Revenge of the Sith.
All right,
Let's fucking
have we yapped enough?
yeah, let's fucking get into this movie.
Okay.
So Revenge of the Sith.
Revenge of the Sith.
I kind of talked about this in the beginning when we did the Phantom Menace episode and we were just talking about Star Wars in general. This is the first movie I remember seeing in theaters. I was
Yep.
4 years old. I remember fucking getting my Revenge of the Sith T-shirt at Target. I remember we pulled up with our lightsabers. They wouldn't let us bring them in. We had to fucking bring them back.
I was probably 6 or 7.
That was like my first sentient memory.
Yeah.
see like my fucking like frontal lobe finally like clicked in or some shit.
Yeah.
But yeah, and I think that this is the movie.
You gain consciousness.
Yeah, see, like the Battle of Mustafar is like when I almost shat my pants.
That's pretty
Probably.
cool. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I think we saw it a couple times too because I also have memories of seeing it with our grandparents.
Yes.
So we saw it at least twice in theaters.
Because our dad couldn't bear to see it with our grandpa for the first time. So
yeah, that's a whole other thing. But
our grandpa just like he'll just talk like throughout the whole movie. And so the first time we saw it was me, you, and Dad.
Yeah.
And I don't think Mom was there.
No.
And then the second time it was I think Dad saw it again, but this time it was Grandpa and Grandma. I want to say.
Yeah, Grandma was there too. I think our second time.
Yeah.
But this is the movie I've seen the most times. This is like, pop it on fucking on the DVD player. Fucking, it's on the TNT marathon on cable.
It's the one everyone likes.
It's the one that everyone likes. It's the one that I've probably changed my feelings the most on this one.
I went through a period of just absolutely shitting on this movie.
Yeah. So, and that's the thing too, is like when...
And now that I'm older...
I think there was a point in like both of our lives, because like I always just like, especially when we were kids, like I always kind of just followed your lane because you're my older brother. But like there was a point where like we just didn't understand like subtlety or like even just like humor, or just even finding things that are supposed to be that are not supposed to be humorous, but finding them funny. We didn't really get that all the way. So there's a lot of things I think that we've kind of...
I think as like a little foreshadowing, I think the both of us have gained a certain level of appreciation for this movie.
Yeah.
It's still like, kind of dog shit in a lot of areas.
Yeah.
But having said that, it's definitely the best of the prequel trilogy. See, like the only thing that's gonna piss me off is like when someone says that this movie is their favorite Star Wars movie, and I'm just like, when as soon as I hear that, I pretty much stop talking to that person about Star Wars. So
Uh,
I'll sit there and nod and like agree with them, like, oh yep, oh yeah.
I don't know. See, the thing is, I kind of want. I guess when people tell me that this is their favorite, I usually want a little more context as to like, okay, like what's like your second favorite, what's like your third favorite. Because if they just go like, oh, my favorites are Revenge of the Sith, Attack of the Clones, like, all right, you're fucking dumbass. But like, also too, I
See,
think,
but most people, I feel like it's Revenge of the Sith Empire.
yeah, and that's the thing is, I think,
No, that then again, I've heard this take Revenge of the Sith Return.
yeah, I've heard it, dude. There's a million different
Like,
ways people will rank them, but like, I don't know. I also just want to know like the reasons why they like it because I do think that people in our age bracket do get very like not blinded by nostalgia, but this is a movie that like this was like our A New
okay,
Hope because we finally got like a decent Star Wars movie our generation. So I think people just hold on to it no matter
this
what.
is one of those movies that like if you didn't see as a kid and it wasn't like insane for you at that time, you probably aren't gonna like this movie.
Yeah.
Our dad, for example.
Yeah. Our dad doesn't really. I mean, like honestly, we'll get his opinions eventually, but I don't know what he thinks about this movie at this point. He probably likes it better than Disney Star Wars, which we'll
Uh,
get to eventually. But
yeah, I think what you guys will see is like as much as I can't stand the prequels sometimes, the Disney ones are to me are so just void of like everything, in my opinion.
yeah, I think at least I'd say at least 60% of the Disney movies. There's two that I have appreciation for, but we'll get there when we get there.
Yeah,
So this one, Revenge of the Sith, I think we both watched it like
2 weeks ago
at least 2 weeks ago because
because we were gonna shoot it.
we were gonna shoot it,
Yeah.
then we had a week break.
Mm-hmm.
It's probably been 3 weeks since I watched it because we filmed the Dune
Maybe it
episode
has
the
been 3 weeks.
next week,
Yeah.
and then now it's been another like almost 2 weeks at
Yeah.
least. So yeah, it's been three.
It's still pretty fresh though. I mean, I've seen this movie a
Still
million
pretty fresh.
times.
I remember that the title crawl is pretty good.
Yeah.
But
Solid.
I mean, yeah, I couldn't tell you it verbatim at this point, but we'll get into the fucking opening shot of this movie.
Which is probably one of the best
This is probably
parts of the movie, in my opinion,
it's probably the best opening.
to any Star Wars movie.
Return Empire. Yeah, I'd say it's this and A New Hope are my favorite introductions to any.
I was gonna say New Hope has a pretty good
I'd say this
opening.
slightly edges it out because I think it's like
Empire, it just pans down to Hoth,
mhm.
and the probe droid goes, "What's Return?"
It's like it basically just pans to Tatooine, and then it's
Uh huh.
yeah, it's C-3PO and R2-D2 on Tatooine.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that's what the opening is.
Phantom Menace. They pan to the Trade Federation ship.
Attack of the Clones is them flying in on the cloudy planet.
Yeah.
I mean, this is to me far and away the best introduction because it's like A New Hope, but you actually get to see the battle that's going on outside. You know, because you just get that one shot. It's a Star Destroyer chasing the Rebel ship in A New Hope, but this is like a full on battle, and it looks fucking amazing. I mean,
Yeah.
space CGI is a little funny because it's like it's low key like the easiest CGI to do because there's so much like dark space, you know.
Sure.
So it's you can create your own lighting however you want, and like it's very hard to fuck it up. But it's 2005. I got to give it respect.
Yeah.
It looks really fucking good, and it's just it's Anakin and Obi-Wan's fuck. You just see this red and yellow ship. You don't know what the fuck's going on. They're flying, and then it just cuts down to below the Star Destroyer. And you just see this whole fucking battle.
Perfect.
It's so sick. I remember seeing that the first time in theater, and it's like, and I love too just the momentum the scene has of like Obi-Wan and Anakin. They're riffing a little, like you kind of.
This is where the fun begins.
Yeah, this is where you
This is where the memes begin. Okay, this movie has so many fucking memes, man.
If you grew up in the 20 fucking tens, you know the Star Wars Revenge of the Sith memes, but
hello there.
I really like the pacing and momentum of the scene of like because you finally get to see Anakin and Obi-Wan like joking and joshing, fucking.
This is what we
goofing around
wanted originally, you know, an Attack of the Clones and shit.
Yeah, and
Anakin is obviously a lot wiser,
mhm.
and it shows
But
because he's not like whining anymore.
he's still I like
He's still
Hayden's
like hot-headed, but he's not
yeah.
like a moron.
Hayden switches it up a little bit and makes him more of a hothead than just a bitch. I think where it's like he wants to go help
But
the
also, he makes this movie. He makes like smart decisions early on,
mm,
and in like Attack of the Clones, he's kind of just like along for the ride, and
yeah
he just is like a kind of an idiot. Like,
yeah
and then he just full on attacks Count Dooku without listening. I mean, like,
yeah. But like even in this one though, like they're in the battle. He wants to go help those guys, and Obi-Wan says no. Like they have their mission, we
we
have
have
ours,
ours,
and
and he listens though.
yeah, and like but even like when Obi-Wan's got the buzz droids on him. He's like starts like shooting Obi-Wan's
Yeah,
ship. And
that
Obi-Wan's like, "Yo, chill the fuck out, dog. Like we're gonna get us both killed,
dude. Yeah, when I saw that, I was like, bro, you're
dude." But then you
shooting
have
him.
like it's Obi-Wan's his ship is like falling apart, and Anakin's it's like and it's like they're
Yeah,
like, dude, it's sick. George Lucas on his game in the beginning. They just barely make it into the fucking bay. They both hop out of their fucking ships, cut up some
don't
droids.
forget the Vulture droids that come, the droid ships,
Yeah, yeah,
and then
yeah.
there's like that shot. You have the two Jedi fighters, and then all the X-wing behind
Yeah, yeah,
them,
yeah.
and the clones and shit. And
Yeah.
yeah,
But they hop out.
dude, immediately as soon as they
Obi-Wan gets to
fucking
work.
yeah, surprisingly Obi-Wan gets to work, and you think Anakin would do something like that. But
Anakin.
he's sitting there, he's unbuckling the shit.
Yeah.
As soon as Obi-Wan like starts sliding, jumps out
Yeah.
like
And it's the curse of the prequels where you just have to watch them cut up the droids, the CGI fake shit that's not there. I mean, it like you go from this dope ass moment to like okay, like whatever, like keeping the action going. Um, they tell R2 to stay with the ship. They're gonna go try to find Palpatine.
honestly, I've thought this for a while, but I don't know if I've ever like mentioned it to you. But like those droids that we're gonna talk about later on, the guard droids that have the staves
Yeah,
or staffs, however you say that. Um, why didn't the droid army have more of those guys?
yeah, I agree. Honestly,
I would have liked to see those guys in the hangar, and Obi-Wan actually has to. I mean,
yeah,
they defeat them easily, but it's more of a challenge than just like blocking
yeah.
blaster, and then as
It's
soon
almost
as
like George got like a little toy idea in the third movie, and they got, we'll
yeah,
throw these fucking guys in
but
here.
those guys were
But
sick
that's the thing. I completely agree with you. I think that like that's like the type of guys you'd want to
to fight
fight
Jedi.
Jedi. Like
Yeah,
yeah, so it would make sense to have them like at least like around your high value fucking people. Like why doesn't Count
or even like
Dooku?
in a battle, right? Like because in this movie you do see quite a few battle scenes.
Yeah.
Have your regular droids, but like throw way more of those guys in
Well,
there.
isn't when he goes to confront Grievous later and all the army? Isn't there a bunch of those dudes just like sitting
Yeah.
there, and you don't even get to see him fight really?
Well, Obi-Wan like takes two of them out
Yeah,
instantly.
yeah, yeah. The power scaling, you don't really know because in the beginning it's like you can't fucking beat him, but whatever.
I mean, they beat him, but it takes like more than a second.
Yeah. So yeah, so then they're looking for. Oh, there's the whole thing with the elevator, basically, where they get to the elevator.
Okay, don't forget the stupid hijinks of R2D2.
Yeah, well, it cuts back and forth between them, where they get to the elevator, and Grievous discovers that they're on the ship, and he stops the elevators. And
Oh, by the way, Grievous.
now this wasn't the first time we saw Grievous, though, because me and you, being
Mm-hmm.
the students of Star Wars that we are, we saw the fucking Cartoon Network little mini series.
But that was animated by that
Uh,
one famous animator who did Samurai
Samurai Jack.
Jack and that newer show
Primal.
Primal.
Yeah.
That is really good.
Yeah.
The
Um,
animation was amazing, of course. But see, in that show, I know where you're going.
they made Grievous too badass in that show.
Wait, he was sick as hell.
Yeah, if you guys have ever seen it, if you haven't, you could probably look it up on fucking YouTube.
Like,
Or
dude, he takes out Shaggy. Like,
yeah, the Jedi that looks like Shaggy.
there's literally a Jedi.
They intentionally did that.
It has to be.
Because I think his name is even like fucking like Shagoo or something like
Isn't
that.
it? Yeah.
It's something weird. I swear.
He's got like the little,
Yeah.
chin hairs. He's got long hair. He looks
Yeah.
like Shaggy.
But Grievous in that show, dude, is like
Yeah,
on another fucking
he's a
level.
menace.
And
Yeah.
in that show they show how Palpatine gets captured,
On Coruscant.
which you kind of miss. But then, so that wasn't the first time I saw Grievous was in theaters. But then, just the way he looked way cooler in the movie though than in the show. I think
Yeah,
his design I think was way more menacing.
yeah. If you think about it though, the timeline, like if you basically Grievous captures the Chancellor and flies away into space, and then immediately Anakin and Obi-Wan go to rescue him.
Well, yeah, they immediately all go into war right above
Yeah.
Coruscant.
Well, because what you don't see in the movie is in that show, like there's a whole ground assault,
Yeah,
and Yoda and Windu are like fighting on the
Yeah.
ground, and it was pretty cool.
yeah,
And then you have Anakin and Obi-Wan. It's literally in space, and like
yeah.
the Chancellor might have been captured for like an hour.
I wish we could have seen some of the ground assault in the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then he stops the elevator, and Anakin's like not gonna. Obi-Wan tries to get in a hold of R2.
R2 to start it.
Anakin's like, "Fuck that!" Cuts a hole, jumps out. Obi-Wan, I hate it when he does that. Or always on the move. Is that what he says?
Always on the move.
Yeah.
But instead of Obi-Wan like just following him, which would have made more sense, maybe he still has R2 like fucking start the elevator, because then
it goes down.
Yeah, but Anakin's like trying to climb up, and here comes the elevator. Like you could have killed him.
Well, no. So what happens is R2's like he's hiding from these droids that are looking for him.
Super battle droids.
So
yeah.
they ask him to move the elevator. R2 moves it down, and that's when Anakin it falls from up beneath him, and he catches himself. And then the droids come up, and it is like, and then Obi-Wan's like, we need to be going up, not down, and then he switches it, and then that's when Anakin does the flip thing into the elevator, and Obi-Wan immediately lights his lightsaber.
Yeah.
And
it's you.
Yeah, and then
you stupid little ass.
And then Obi-Wan says something. I can't remember what he says, and he's like something about the elevator, and then Anakin, no more loose wire jokes.
Oh, miswire.
Yeah, miswire jokes.
I think it is.
I thought it was loose wire.
I think it's either one.
I didn't say anything. Yeah.
See, like little more shit like that would have been great throughout this movie, but
yeah.
After the opening, like it just we'll get to that, but
so the elevator gets where it needs to fucking go. And yeah, right. Nothing else happens after that. Then they get into the throne room, I guess you want to call it, where he's being held.
It's literally like if you haven't figured out that the Chancellor is the Emperor by now,
he has like the best view of the entire battle.
It's literally him in the Death Star in Return of the Jedi, bro. He's got the same chair.
Yeah.
He's looking out on the battle. You know, he might as well say like, "Your rebel friends."
Yeah.
Like.
So then they come up to him, and
you're no match for him. He's a Sith Lord.
Chancellor Palpatine, Sith Lords are a speciality.
Yeah.
And then
your swords, please.
Yeah. I set the trap. Plan?
Spring the
trap. Yeah. I sense Count Dooku.
Yeah.
That's right before they go in.
Count Dooku walks in with like a couple super battle droids. Does like the most extra flip over the balcony.
Yeah.
It would have been more badass if he just slowly like lifted himself up and then lowered himself. But no, he does like a full on somersault.
I guess. Fuck
Fine.
It.
He got iconic Christopher Lee.
Yeah. Your swords, please.
We wouldn't want to make a mess of things in front of the Chancellor.
Yeah. And then
Anakin says,
Obi-Wan says, "We'll do this together."
I was about to say that.
They take their cloaks off.
Disrobe.
Yeah.
I've been looking forward to this.
Yeah. Obi-Wan, they start fighting, and like it looks a lot better. Like the CGI head that Christopher Lee has, they show it a little less. It looks a little better. You can still kind of notice it sometimes.
The choreography though was pretty good.
Obi-Wan gets bitched out again immediately. Like he just can't be Count Dooku
for some reason
in these movies.
No, I mean I know it's for the plot,
yeah,
right? To have Anakin solo him.
Yeah, but like and then he gets like a fucking thing. I never understood that when I was a kid. I'm like, wouldn't that like crush?
That would kill him. It would kill him. Count Dooku literally goes like this and lowers a balcony on him.
And Anakin's just like, oh. They have like a quick shot to his face.
Okay, there's this one shot in the fight. It's so awkward.
Yeah.
Count Dooku's like levitating Obi-Wan and force choking him, and Anakin tries to come up behind him, and Count Dooku does this little like back kick
yeah.
and knocks Anakin down. long enough for Dooku to throw Obi-Wan into the balcony and then lower it on
and that's when
him.
we get he like jumps up and he does the over. That's a cool move.
Yeah,
Yeah, he does the overhand attack. And then we get the solo Obi-Wan Dooku fight.
Anakin.
Anakin, sorry.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and Dooku's
You
like
have
trying.
hatred.
Yeah, he's
You have anger. You don't use them.
He's trying to goad him into using
Yeah.
the dark side.
Yeah. And then he finally gets the best of him.
That's great.
The way he cuts off his hands is
Clean.
so clean compared to what Obi-Wan or what Dooku did to him.
Just fucking
Anakin's
literally standing there
Yeah.
and attacking the clones like this, and just cuts his arm off.
Yeah, and in this he does like the fucking and
Does he disarm him first, and then cut his hands off, or does he, by cutting his hands off, he disarms him?
by cutting his hands off, he just
They're like
he shoots like he basically the way he does it, it like shoots his lightsaber into the air.
yeah,
Yeah,
but like they're going like Dooku's going in for an attack, and basically Anakin like parries it.
he like grabs his hands. Yeah,
He like parries it, but then he does a quick sidestep, grabs his hands, and then just clean, and
then
he
catches
that shit, dude.
Like and
So
yeah,
clean.
that was honestly Anakin's best moment.
But see, and then from that moment on, you're like, okay, like this guy fucks, kind of.
Yeah.
Like,
And that's what I mean. Like in the beginning, he fucks. Like even Obi-Wan's pretty cool before he gets bitched out, and then the Emperor kill him now.
yeah. And there's like no music in that scene.
You just kind of hear
It's
the
a faint
of like the ships exploding in the background and
Uh-huh.
stuff, and I shouldn't.
Yeah.
And
Do it.
it
And the
it's not
sound
the Jedi way.
the sound design, of course, but like there's like an echo of it,
Yeah.
and you get Palpatine's like, what does he say?
I shouldn't have done that. This is only natural.
Yeah,
He cut off your arm.
you wanted revenge.
Remember what you told me about your mother and the Sand people?
Yeah.
And that's what. And
you hear
this is what I want to get into a little bit too. Is like from the jump, you could tell with him and Palpatine's relationship that like he uses what Anakin says against him.
Yeah.
Like, and that's I think on this rewatch, what I think I told you on the phone or something. More than anything is like you really see how much like the Emperor like can manipulate him, and like because like Anakin is like you, and this is where I kind of disagree with you. Is you kind of said like he makes a lot of smart decisions. I kind of think Anakin's like dumb in this movie.
Okay, when I said he makes smart choices in terms of like being a general and in a combat.
Oh, like as a warrior. Sure.
Okay, that's yeah. When it comes to like life decisions, no, Anakin is not.
And that's what I think is if you almost I'm not the first person to say this, but I think is if you almost look at it as like Anakin is kind of this like dumb
kid.
Not even kid, but like he's like someone described it online as like he's like a dumb jock almost, where he not only does the Emperor just stroke his ego the entire movie because everyone else is shitting on him, he fucking is the only one who's like you're so fucking powerful, and then also like in just that moment he told him about that, about how he lashed out and killed all those people, and like he's probably the only one who knows that, and he can confide in him besides Padme, and so like he just has such like a strong hold over him, I think, just even from the beginning.
Yeah, from the jump, yeah.
So then they're trying to escape, and then Anakin's gonna get Obi-Wan. And
Anakin fucking carries Obi-Wan for so long.
Or would never make it. Like, he just wants him to leave him.
His fate would be the same as ours.
Yeah, fucking douchebag Emperor.
Yeah. He tried, though.
He tried his best. And then
you kind of get I don't know, I think it's kind of a goofy scene where they're like the ship goes like vertical and they're like in the elevator.
Oh, they're running, and then it starts to turn back.
But it turns back, and the elevator is coming at them, and it's just the goofiest, like, because they're falling, and Anakin, while he's holding Obi-Wan, he's like, like what Luke does in A New Hope, right? But he's doing it while he's falling, and he fucking ropes something, and then he somehow catches.
I think it's magnetized in that.
Either way, he grapples onto something and swings himself, Obi-Wan, and the Chancellor into like just an open door.
It's like the CGI Chancellor, just the physics of it, where he's like, flips into the fucking... It's crazy. Yeah.
But they eventually they're like running in a hallway, and then the ray shields, right?
Yeah. Oh no, dude. So I remember that scene now. That was where they're they're falling, right? They're running, and then the elevator comes, and then he grapples it, and then Obi-Wan wakes up, and the elevator
Oh,
starts
while they're
coming.
hanging,
Yeah,
yeah.
R2, stop that elevator.
Yeah,
No
yeah.
time, and then they jump, and
Yeah.
then that's when they grapple.
No time to jump.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then
So
they're running through the hallway.
and then Ray shield, the Ray shield comes down,
How did this happen? We're smarter than this.
and then
Apparently
Anakin.
not.
I suggest patience.
Patience. Yes.
R2 will be here in a minute, and he'll release the Ray shields.
Kind of smart.
Yeah, and then R2 comes in. See, and then everyone else comes in.
All the droids.
Yeah,
So
and
they
then
get arrested, all of them.
yeah, then
They take him to the bridge.
and this is Grievous's first meeting with both of them, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, General Kenobi. What does he say to him?
The negotiator.
Yeah, the negotiator Kenobi.
Yeah.
Which is not wrong. Like his reputation as like that is kind of funny to me.
Yeah.
And then he meets Anakin. I thought you'd be older.
You're shorter than I expected.
Yeah, then he says he's shorter than I expected.
Jedi scum.
And then he takes his lightsabers, and then like you get the like zoom in shot on Ewan where he's like, I don't think so. What does he say? And this time you won't escape. And then they grab their, and then like
Anakin goes R2,
and then he
R2
R2
starts
just tweaking, just letting out like every fucking gadget he has.
Gadget and Gizmo.
Yeah, it's like a fucking distraction so they can force their lightsabers. And that's when we get the little fight with the guards. He cuts Emperor's Palpatine's fucking restraints.
But Palpatine is doing this like weird act, like he's like while like Anakin cuts him, it's like weird, and then there's like one quick shot when Anakin and Obi-Wan are like just fucking the droids up of Palpatine. He's like, yeah.
So then like they basically like
Grievous runs away like a pussy.
You lose, and he breaks the glass. Is that at that point when he tells him you lose, or is that later? I can't remember.
What you're thinking of that extreme close-up is later when he fights. When he fights, when it's just Obi-Wan and him.
He escapes. He breaks the glass, and then he releases all the escape pods, so they have to pilot the ship. And literally, as they're in the ship, half the fucking ship breaks off.
Yep.
And so then
because they're crashing onto Coruscant.
Yeah. So Anakin is basically like, they're like, "Can you land this thing?" He's like, "It's going to be more of like a fucking falling than landing,
a crash."
Yeah. We're still flying half a ship. Fucking Obi-Wan, Anakin, and Palpatine basically safely.
What does he say? Fucking activate all flaps and dry fins. And
yeah.
all the shit comes
flaps,
out.
hatches, and dry fins. And and then
and they land on this airstrip, and it just totally takes out that tower.
Yeah, and like it's on fire basically, and
another happy landing.
Yeah. So that's the intro. That's the intro to the movie.
Pretty solid.
And honestly, to me, fucking 10 out of 10. Like I think it really. They started the movie on such a strong note. I think like, yeah, there's a couple little like goofs there here and there, but like it's like it felt like okay, like we're getting the adventure started, and then we get to Coruscant, and then all
the movie just falls flat.
The momentum kind of stops, I think. So
if we could have gotten a whole movie like that,
yeah,
have your slower moments, but like let's have them go on some adventure.
So let's kind of talk about that then. So like it switches into, you have to kind of have it slow down a little bit. Okay, kind of set the scene of what's going on. So, Anakin and Obi-Wan, they land into it's a landing strip on. I'm starting it. Your thing green?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Quick pee break, but we were talking about, so Obi-Wan leaves him on the landing strip that, this is his moment, your time with the politicians, and
take all the glory.
Yeah, it's your turn for the glory. And then this Anakin says, basically, well deserved after my 9th time saving you. Right?
He says
10th time.
And then Obi-Wan says 9th.
9th time. That business song.
Canada Moria doesn't count.
Doesn't count. Yeah, so then they're walking to the, I believe it's the Senate. That's where they're walking into to meet with the Emperor. and he's talking to fucking.
Anakin just kind of peels off from the
Well, yeah, he's
group really
talking
quick.
to Balin.
Bail?
Bail Organa, my
Yeah,
bad.
yeah.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
He walks away
Just basically
because
tells him to shut the fuck
because
up.
Padme is just chilling behind a fucking pillar, waiting for them to pass by.
Nobody sees them, bro. Come on.
Yeah, I mean, and so then they walk up and they embrace, and it's honestly it's a nice moment where you could see like Anakin's been away for a long time.
Yeah.
Hopefully less than 9 months. But
Because she's hella pregnant.
yeah, but he's been away for a while, and you could kind of see like they're kissing each other so much, and he's like something's wrong. Like what is it? Like he senses something's off, and she tells him that he's pregnant or that she's pregnant. And honestly, low key decent acting from Hayden Christensen. I think you kind of see him work through all the emotions and things like that. Where
At
he's
first, he's like, "What the fuck?" And then
yeah,
he's like, "Oh, okay, this is good."
yeah, and he's you can kind of see him thinking about it, and then I think it's very sincere when he says it's like the
Yeah,
happiest moment of his life.
yeah, yeah.
Because probably the next happiest was when he fucking married Padme. So honestly, solid
Good moment.
solid moment, and then I think the next scene I believe is the council talking to Palpatine about how Grievous escaped again.
Yeah, and the
Um,
war will continue as long as he's alive.
yeah, that's basically the gist of that fucking scene. I mean, yeah, it's been
To
a
be honest, not a whole lot happens in the whole middle of this movie. There's important like character stuff, I guess, but
yeah, and it's
nothing plot wise
and it's
really.
it's been like 2 weeks since we watched it too, so like we might fuck up the order of events, but we'll touch on all the important things.
See, that just goes to show how bad the fucking this part of the movie is because you can't even remember what happened
Yeah,
before
and so
what.
then you kind of get him and Padme. They're at her like apartment. You know, Natalie Portman not wearing any shoes like the whole movie. She's just pregnant, like
She's just pregnant
brushing her
mom.
fucking hair. Like I want to go back to Naboo and have the baby there. Like
Let me see the real shit. Like I know she's acting like a psycho bitch because she's pregnant. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
okay, fucking yeah. She's talking about
Sorry for cussing.
dude. So yeah, she's talking about having the baby back on Naboo, and Anakin's just fucking sitting there like
He's like fucking like what's the word, bro?
smitten.
He's just like leaned,
Yeah,
posted up,
yeah,
staring at her.
yeah. Um, yeah, and then he's like, she's like, "What is it? I'm just so in love with you."
And here we go with the terrible dialogue.
So love has blinded you. That's not what I meant. Like, just
Like,
fuck.
dude, it's so
And then
bad.
I think it's that same night he has his first dream of
Nightmare.
nightmare of Padme dying in childbirth. You get like shredded Hayden. He gets up from bed, and he always has to go ponder and like look out. That's what he likes to do. And uh, Padme comes out, and they kind of have a little talk about like
She's
his
like, "What's
dream.
wrong?" And he's like,
Like his basically is he in just sum it up. It's like his mother basically is what it feels like. Is that he can kind of see what's going to happen. Um,
he basically tells her like, I will save you, Padme."
yeah. No, I promise you. And then
No, I promise you,
yeah, then it
dude.
cuts to whatever's next.
Whatever's
Yeah, because it's like a bubble or like
the weird transitions. Yeah.
yeah. Well, I honestly, what is next in sequence of events? I think it's
Doesn't Anakin go to Yoda?
yeah. He goes to Yoda,
Basically asking for help. He's like, "I've been having these
and
nightmares."
Yoda basically gives him useless
Basically
information.
tells him to deal with it and fuck
It's
off.
like someone close to you, yes, and then that's all he had to say. And basically, Yoda's like, you gotta let go of your
Because
attachments.
you're a Jedi.
Death is kind of a natural part of things, and it's like, and I think this movie more than the others kind of has the best examples of like the Jedi just being actually stupid.
And arrogant
Yeah,
and
and even though once again George Lucas like doesn't he can't write it in a way that's like creative or fun. He just has to be blatant. Yep, they're fucking dumb. Like
yeah.
and us as the audience, we can see it. To be fair, but like Yoda just like can't read the fucking room at all, and like obviously this dude's struggling. Like
Well, and dude, Yoda's supposed to be like the most powerful of them, and he can't sense or feel in Anakin that he's literally married to Padme and
Yeah,
having a
and
baby.
I think there is kind of the element, to be fair, of like, yeah, the Emperor is like clouding their Force ability. Um, but that's the thing too, is like since Attack of the Clones, I know that there's like a war going on,
Yeah.
but literally since Attack of the Clones, which is what, 2-3 years before this one, 5 years
Yeah,
before
something
this
like
one,
that.
5 to 2 years, we'll say, before Revenge of the Sith. Yeah, I don't really
I
know.
don't fucking know.
Uh,
It doesn't matter,
yeah,
really.
but in Attack of the Clones, they said they know that there's like a
Uh-huh.
they learn that there's a dark side user within their ranks, and they don't believe it at first, but then they do
Count
eventually.
Dooku literally says it to Obi-Wan.
Yeah, and then they do suspect it though in this one, and they suspect it could be the Emperor. So, and I get he's like clouding their judgment, but like we've said this every fucking time we watch this movie, like, hey, get a mid fucking Chlorine account on this asshole, like
Yeah.
somebody, please, like because they've been investigating this suspicion for going on half a decade now almost, and it's like you're not any closer to finding anything out. Like they just don't give a single fuck, and like and that's what's just frustrating is like I understand they have to get to that point, but it's just like we talked about with the Attack of the Clones is do they have to be incompetent the whole fucking
Yeah,
time?
right.
They can't have like any like substantial win, you know what? Like, and not just a battle win. I'm talking about a character win, a like a story win. You know, like something.
Which again, George Lucas is trying to. This is their downfall. He's trying to show
Yeah,
their
and
downfall.
I 100%
But
agree.
again, like
We
a little subtlety would be
but
nice.
and we talked about it ad nauseum with Attack of the Clones. Is that I understand that's what you're doing, but when you have nobody that is a smart, reliable character,
Yeah,
it just is, or you have maybe one or two that are, it's just kind of like we talked about House of the fucking Dragon before this,
yeah.
and I understand that's a rated R series, but it's a good example of writing. Or you look at Rogue One or Andor, where it's like how you do the political game is you have to have good people, bad people, people in the gray, people double crossing each other, and that's how you build out a a I guess you want to a an empire being formed. That's how that happens,
Yeah.
even in history. And it's just like, and George Lucas, being the history person that he is, should know these things. I think personally.
Yeah.
Sorry, fucking ranting about that.
No,
It's
no, it's
frustrating.
important. It's important to talk about.
Yeah. So then he goes to Yoda, and basically it's no information. And I think honestly, right after his talk with Yoda is when he goes to Palpatine because he didn't get what he was looking for from him. So he goes to him, and I believe that's the next scene. I'm not 100% sure. And basically, the Palpatine tells him that he's going to be the most powerful Jedi
Like just
ever.
dick riding
But
him.
yeah, and like it's exactly what he wants to hear
Yeah.
after what Yoda basically just told him. And
Mm-hmm.
like, and it's perfect. Like I said, it's perfect manipulation. I think it's probably
But then
there.
doesn't he plant the seed about something with the dark side then too? Like that it can
Mm,
no? Okay.
no, it's later.
Okay.
But basically, I think their dynamic in this movie, Anakin and Palpatine's, is probably the best writing of the prequels. Is in this movie, where like you really just kind of see like how much he has his hooks into him. I think underappreciated from my previous watches. I will
Yeah.
say. I think I because I know me and you, we always talk
Because
about.
well, I always hear from a lot of people that like Anakin's turn is so like not believable.
Well, even us, I think we've said in the past,
I've said,
it
yeah,
feels very quick, and it does because it all
because it all
happens.
happens in this movie.
But I think you do see the seeds of it there, but you just never get to see it.
Basically, what it is like we're seeing Anakin already
Yeah, he's kind
at
of.
the end of
This is
what
like, yeah,
Palpatine has been doing.
this is like everything that happened between Attack of the Clones and Revenge of the Sith that we don't get to see until the Clone Wars show. This is like the end of that,
Yeah,
because even in
where
Clone Wars,
Palpatine is like basically has him,
yeah,
and you're
and
just
I
seeing
think,
you're seeing the final like
and it's interesting because I've never looked at the movie from that lens
yeah, me
until
either.
recently, you know, and I think that's kind of, I think honestly maybe we've kind of done it a disservice in that way, but at the same time,
Now I do. One thing I still will debate is like he goes from like just wanting to save his wife to just straight up killing kids.
yeah, that's craziness.
That's
Yeah,
insane.
that's a little
How is
much.
he?
Um,
How is he able to do that?
yeah. And I will say too, I think that when you have to look at a movie through so many different lenses, it goes to show that the writing isn't all the way there in terms of what it should have given us.
Yeah.
So yeah, so then but Palpatine in that meeting also, after he's done stroking him off, he basically says that he wants him to be his representative on the Jedi Council. I want to make you my personal representative on the Jedi Council. Yeah,
Yeah.
and Anakin like can't fucking believe it. Um,
He's like honored.
yeah, this is a huge honor. And then basically it goes to he's at the council and fucking Mace Windu is hearing none of this shit.
Oh yeah.
Basically says like, and I guess
Anakin says like the Chancellor suggested that I lead the campaign.
yes, because that's the other thing he tells him is that Anakin's like, because I think they narrowed down Grievous's location. There might be a scene.
They know where he's at. They're just trying to figure out who to send.
Yeah, there's might be a scene where they figure out kind of where he is generally.
Mm-hmm.
That we might have skipped over. I can't remember. But basically, Anakin tells them, and then Palpatine's like, "You'd be the perfect person for that mission." I wouldn't see any why they wouldn't pick any other Jedi,
Yeah.
just to kind of piss him off a little more when it doesn't go his way. So yeah, so then like you said, Anakin tells him that he thinks that he should lead the campaign, and Mace Windu basically is like, "We'll decide." Like,
The Chancellor basically has no say in Jedi matters.
yeah, and we'll make that decision. It basically tells him that he's on this council, but they do not grant him the rank of master.
How can you be on the council and not be a
It's
master?
outrageous.
It's unfair.
It's unfair.
Yeah.
Have a seat, young Skywalker. And he said, and Obi-Wan.
Yep. Just like you fucking asshole.
Yeah, and so like having their discussion basically on who's going to go on what campaign. What the fuck is Longhead's name?
What about the droid attack on the Wookiees?
What about the droid attack on the Wookiees? Yeah, what's his name?
I don't even remember.
Oh my god, someone will fucking say it in the comments. But yeah, so Yoda.
The relations with the Wookiees I have.
Yeah, so Yoda's gonna go there, and then I think
Master Kenobi should go.
Yeah, they basically suggest, and Obi-Wan's like, of course, like,
duh. Who else would
the
you send?
Chad Obi-Wan's gonna go.
He's got it. You send Obi-Wan, it's getting done.
Pretty much.
But also, if they sent Anakin, it probably would have been.
Mm-hmm.
I think their reasoning for not sending Anakin was because they want him to spy on the.
Well, that's exactly is. So then Obi-Wan and Anakin kind of have a talk after
the council, yeah.
And basically,
Obi-Wan tells them like they will make you a master. Like,
yeah,
eventually.
Basically, what he says is that they want their relationship with Palpatine is interesting, and that they have suspicion of him being that he might not give up his power if once Grievous is caught, and they want him to spy on him. And Anakin can't believe it, but Obi-Wan tells him, "You complete this mission, you will become a master." Basically, like is what he tells him, and so he's kind of struggling with that.
Yeah, so Anakin either basically he has to choose between like pleasing Palpatine or his own goals of becoming a Jedi Master.
Yeah, and so basically he kind of at first though he's very like argumentative about it and like doesn't want to do it. And I think he has a talk with Padme about it that they want him to spy on him, and Padme I think kind of convinces him like
Padme kind of agrees with the council like, yeah, is there something wrong with him?
And I think that kind of because later on he has another talk with
She
Obi-Wan.
says something like no Chancellor has had this much power for this long.
Yeah.
Like and Anakin's like, all right.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah, so then it goes to the opera, I believe.
No, I think Obi-Wan says goodbye to Anakin first.
And
Anakin apologizes.
So yeah, so like, they have the
outburst earlier, and that's when Obi-Wan tells him how proud of him.
I've trained you since you were a small boy. Yeah, and he like flies away, and you kind of just get a shot of Anakin being left alone. My cat's food. We'll see if he comes out. He
won't.
He stays hiding when Vinny comes over.
Don't like me.
Yeah, he's a very nervous cat. But yeah, and you kind of get the shot of Anakin being left.
Master, may the Force be with you.
Yeah, and he's in the shadow, and Obi-Wan's in the light.
Yeah.
So you kind of get that visual. And then also you kind of get the ride of Obi-Wan, Mace, and Yoda because Mace is basically escorting them because they're both leaving. And he says that it's very dangerous putting them together, the Emperor and Anakin. and Obi-Wan says like he's the chosen one, is he not? And Mace Windu basically says like um it's yet to be foreseen, like like they're not really
And then
sure.
Yoda says something like of a prophecy misread.
Yeah,
Like
they never really bring it up again, and I guess as the audience you're supposed to interpret like, yeah, it's Luke that kind of brings him back, and eventually it happens, and they don't know that, but I wish they kind of would have dove more into that, honestly. And then that's when we get the opera scene where Anakin basically is called to meet him. uh Really cool scene. I love the way that that looks, like it's just kind of a little world building thing.
yeah, it's like this weird orb,
Yeah, and it's
and the
like,
music is like chanting, and
yeah,
it's
very
like
cool John Williams music,
yeah,
cool visuals. I love just like them sitting in front of it and the lighting and stuff. And then
you over here.
yeah, so basically he tells his people to leave, and he
You
basically,
don't believe us.
yeah, and that they've told you to spy on me, didn't they? And Anakin tells him that Obi-Wan's going to lead the mission, and he's like, yeah, yeah, fucking. And then he brings up the tragedy of Darth Plagueis the Wise.
A Sith so powerful, even keep the ones you cared about
Ironic.
from dying. Ironic. Yeah.
Someone who could keep others from dying could not. Like,
He could not save himself.
yeah.
He could actually save people from death.
Is it possible to learn this power?
Not from a Jedi.
Yeah. And then it cuts to Kashyyyk.
Kashyyyk.
Yeah, and you get. I mean, I think
A cool little.
I could speak for a lot of people. I know a lot of older fans too that have been waiting to see like
the
the
Wookiees
Wookiee planet, because
got robbed in Return of the
yeah,
Jedi.
Return of the Jedi was supposed to be Wookiees, but
Yeah,
they didn't have the
Ewoks.
budget for that. So
How do they not have the budget for that?
I don't know. And then I mean, you get a little bit of the Wookiee planet in the Christmas special. You ever seen that?
No, I don't want to.
Fucking Chewie's like wife and kids.
Jesus Christ.
But yeah, we're like shaking this fucking thing. Yeah, and then you get fucking Chewbacca is there, of course, and what's his friend's name?
Tarful.
Yeah, Tarful. And yeah, they're fighting the droids, and you get a little bit of fucking little battle scene, and then I believe
A fucking Wookiee swings on like Tarzan onto a like giant droid tank and puts a mine on it and then jumps off.
yeah, real guerrilla warfare shit.
I remember that shot in the trailer too.
Yeah, that was sick. And then I believe it cuts to Obi-Wan coming into that planet.
Yeah, he lands there and those weird fucking
Mm-hmm.
aliens.
Yeah, he basically kind of like, I'm just stopping for fuel. And
That was okay. Wasn't that kind of a weird exchange between Obi-Wan and those aliens?
yeah, because
They're like being held hostage.
yeah,
Being held hostage. 10th level.
thousands of battle droids.
I
I understand. And then he yeah, and then he sends his ship away, but he hides.
Yeah.
Just a crazy plan from Obi-Wan too.
Dude, he takes on the whole fucking
where
army.
it's like he sends a message, I think, to Cody too, where I think that it's implied that his ship is going to send a message to them where for them to basically he's going to surprise attack, and then
Is he bringing additional warriors?
he didn't say. Yeah, but like just a crazy plan where he's like, okay, I'm going to go out and try to take him on one-on-one, and hopefully no one else attacks me, and then I don't know what's the cue for them to even like come in, because remember like they just start
They
repelling.
just show up.
Yeah, like I don't understand when like, yeah, I don't know.
Maybe Obi-Wan was the scout first to see.
He couldn't wait like another minute though.
Yeah,
for
why didn't
everyone
he
else
just right
to show up?
Well, no, because Grievous could have gotten away.
I guess.
I think he was trying to secure the bag and like 1v1 him because Grievous got cocky, right?
Yeah.
It's like, oh,
Yeah.
I got him, right?
Yeah.
It's just him. Then the clones show up.
Yeah.
And Grievous is like, fuck, I'm out of here. And then
Jumps down. Hello there.
They all ignite their little staves.
Yeah, then you get a cool little fight between them, and then the clones come down, and then you get this fucking nauseating chase scene of like
Obi-Wan's on like this lizard
Obi-Wan's on
thing.
his fucking CGI
Mount.
lizard, and then fucking Grievous gets in his
in a
thing
wheel.
made for toys, and
So
fucking,
he's in a wheel, bro.
and George Lucas, like he was, they were designing it, and he saw that one. He's like, yeah, I can see that being a fucking toy. Just fucking,
I had that toy.
yeah, we had the toy, but. And it just like goes on forever, and they're like, first he's hit him with the staff, and then fucking, it just, for me personally, like, it's just like
Oh, Obi-Wan drops his saber.
too much. Yeah, it's just too much going on, I think.
Then they like crash or whatever, and then Obi-Wan gets into like a fist fight with him.
Yeah,
Grievous is kind of beating his ass a little bit.
and basically he opens up his chest in the course of the fight, and then that leads to him shooting him with the blaster a couple times, and he fucking lights on fire. That's up. When Grievous is like, "You."
Oh, I don't think so.
Yeah, yeah. He force pushes him. Yeah, and he gets like his like knee kicked or something, or
no, I think Obi-Wan kicks him.
Yeah,
and he goes, "Oh."
Yeah.
And Grievous like throws him, and then he almost falls off.
So then they get word that Grievous has been defeated. Anakin goes to Palpatine, and he tells him, I think, yeah. And then basically like fucking Palpatine.
So all this shit kind of happens at the same time.
Yeah.
You have to keep this in mind.
It's moving pretty quick at this point. Where like,
yeah,
it's okay.
Like Obi-Wan kills Grievous. Anakin finds out. He goes to tell,
you really like the context of this movie. Like, this is really like the end of the battle. Like, this is like the closing stage of this whole war that we never got to see, basically.
Yep.
Yeah, and so fucking this whole time, Palpatine is like spelling it out for Anakin that he's like the Sith Lord, and like Anakin just like doesn't get it. Didn't get it when he first heard the Plagueis fucking story.
That should have given it away.
And then like the Emperor is like talking about like
through me, power greater than any Jedi.
Yeah, and then he's like talking about the dark side of the Force, and Anakin's like, "What do you know of the dark side?" And like,
there's one must study. Oh, what did he say? To be fully like knowledgeable of the Force, one must study all of its aspects, including its darker side.
And then the Force and
the ways of the Force. What?
And like finally, I don't even know what he says, but
you're the Sith Lord.
Yeah, and he's like, "Are you going to kill me now?"
I would certainly like to. I know you would. Yeah, I can. I mean, Ian McDermott.
Yeah, I even forgot about the part where Grievous tells him that they have their like little phone meeting.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and Dooku is dead, and soon I will have another apprentice.
One far younger and more powerful.
Yeah, but that's like a little throwaway scene. But so then.
But the loss of Count Dooku.
Yeah, he sent everyone to Mustafar.
Yeah, he wants him to take the Viceroy and all the fucking separatist leaders to Mustafar to keep them safe.
To wait there.
Yeah. Sure.
So then basically like is it basically that Anakin just leaves him there?
He's like, are you going to kill me? And then they had a little exchange, and Anakin's like, I'm gonna turn you in. I'm gonna turn you into the Jedi Council.
But then he just like leaves.
But Palpatine lets him go.
And that's always been like a weird. I get it's part of Palpatine's plan, but it's more so Anakin's decision making that I just don't really get.
So what you're saying he should have just killed him on the spot,
or at least like try to arrest him by himself first?
Yeah,
because like I think just leaving him where he was, like he could have left. He could have like you've no fucking clue.
He could have gotten backup.
So basically, he goes and tells Mace that he's the Sith Lord they've been looking for. A Sith Lord?
Are you sure of this?
Yeah, and then basically he tells him to wait here.
That our worst fears have been realized. Yeah, no shit, guys.
So wait here. I'm gonna bring the B Team Jedi,
dude,
and we're gonna go fight this guy. Okay, bring the most powerful Jedi we have.
See, if you watch the Clone Wars, actually the Jedi that Mace Windu brings are not B Team.
But in this,
Kit Fisto, Plo Koon.
Well, that's what I mean. Is Kit Fisto in like the lore, and even from the
Plo Koon wasn't Plo Koon there?
Yeah, no, he wasn't there. He dies in the ship later. Shit, yeah, but no, Kit Fisto and like I think the horned guy's there.
He's supposed to be good though too.
Well, that's the thing is like remember Kit Fisto in the Cartoon Network show?
Badass.
Dude, and like when you watch him die, you're just like, what?
Sir, the ship is going down. Then it's time to get a new one. Like, what the fuck? That was sick.
Yeah. So and basically
That was the
he tells
animated.
Anakin is if what you've said is true, then you have earned my trust.
Yeah.
Because Mace Windu like just doesn't fuck with him at all.
Until this point, really.
Yeah. So then you get Mace Windu and his like little group go to arrest him, and
Anakin wants to go with,
waits
but
in the
he tells him to wait.
in
Wait in
the
the Jedi
council,
Council chambers until
and
we
then you
come
get the
back.
great scene
Yeah.
of he's
Probably one of my favorite scenes, and they're not even in the same room together.
but it makes it even better, like because
Right.
they're both just looking out at the sunset. You get this great sunset. You have just a very like unique John Williams score, like very unorthodox for Star Wars.
It almost sounds
and,
like something out of like 300.
yeah, like,
It's like that lady like kind
yeah,
of yelling, almost like Dune ish.
yeah, and it's very like a lot of strings and like it's these like quick like sharp
Yeah.
sounds,
Yeah.
and then
Anakin's crying.
and you can tell that like they both can like sense each other, like they feel each other's presence, and like great moment, and
Almost like kind of a callback to like when Luke is hanging upside down and
mhm,
he's like, Leia.
yeah, and it's just like you almost feel like she knows like in that moment that she knows like what's happening, and like
Or
don't go
he
like
knows
and
she knows what he's about to
and like
do.
he's like don't go do it, and he feels like he has to go. So yeah, then you get a cool moment though where like Mace Windu and all the gang walks in, and the Emperor's in his fucking chair, spins around.
Master Windu.
Yeah. By the power of the Galactic Senate, you
You
are
are
under
under
arrest.
Are you threatening me, Master Jedi? The Senate will decide your fate.
I am the Senate. Not yet, yet. You're not, right? Is that what
He
he
just
says?
says, not yet. It's treason, then. Does the most insane move ever.
Dude, okay. And then we've talked about this before. I really don't feel like Yoda or Palpatine needs a lightsaber, especially like just like Dooku, where they're gonna put a CGI head on him because Ian McDermott's fucking 70, and it's like okay, like it would have just been cooler if he just fucking like lightninged everybody, like
At the same time.
yeah,
That
like,
would have made him look insanely
yeah,
powerful, right?
yeah. But instead he whips out like he does a fucking like 360 spin
And then you
move.
get the choreography acting of Sam Jackson, like in a fight. He's just like snarling.
Yeah, yeah,
Just a little dodge.
yeah. But then and then but Palpatine takes out all the Jedi, like, and it's just like the way they die too. Where it's just like
so.
where he's like, oh,
it's just so.
Like yeah,
Especially the most telegraphed move ever, where he goes like this and then literally stabs the guy.
It's embarrassing. And then Anakin gets in a ship as this is happening, and like you do get like it's Mace and Palpatine 1-on-1. They're fighting. Palpatine breaks the glass, and then
cool pose.
And then you do get like the little music when Anakin's like pulling it, like dun, dun, and he's like he hops out of the thing, dun, and he basically
fucking Mace disarms him, and then Palpatine like
yeah. Then,
like crawling.
What does Mace say to him? Like, does he say you were under arrest or like?
No, he
enough, something like that. What the fuck does he say to him?
It's over. Something like that.
Yeah.
And Anakin just runs in and is like, "No, don't."
But yeah, there's something that happens before all that where like Mace like makes a little speech to him like real quick, and then
this is what he is like. You have lost.
Yes. No.
You have
yeah. And then
he's deflecting the lightning back on him, and he's slowly morphing into
Satan's fucking spawn, dude.
Satan's nuts.
Yeah, we'll get into that, but like, it's I can't hold on any longer.
He must stand trial.
Yeah, he's too dangerous to be kept alive.
He's in control of the Senate and the courts.
Yeah,
he's too dangerous. He must stand trial. I need him.
Please don't kill me.
Please don't.
And then he cuts off his hand. Unlimited. And yeah, he electrocutes him. Mace goes flying, and Anakin falls to his knees.
What have I done?
And fucking Palpatine gets up. Yeah, and he stands up.
And like, this is when Ian McDermott and he's like goes full on
his like
evil.
voice starts like it's changing as he's talking. I will say, dude, though, like fucking he looked evil in like Return of the Jedi and shit, but
He looks extra
like
evil.
he looks fucked up. Like
Like
and like
just
they give him like the nutsack forehead for some reason.
yeah. But
And
then, dude, I love that they added this because I don't even think this was in Return. But when he puts the cloak on, his eyes glow
yeah.
like yellow, and
Yeah.
it just looks so fucking evil, man.
Yeah. I fucking
Like I know his eyes were yellow, but they weren't like glowing.
yeah. And then basically Palpatine tells him that he's gonna be his apprentice. Like
Yeah.
uh
Henceforth,
what does he say? Like, what is thy bidding, my master? Yeah, and then
rise.
yeah. Henceforth you shall be known as Darth Vader.
Vader.
Yeah. And then he tells him that
We must act quick.
yeah, the war is beginning and that
Even your friend Obi-Wan Kenobi
yeah,
is now an enemy
of the Republic. Yeah.
Do what must be done, Lord Vader.
Yeah. And then
You know, he's hamming it up.
he tells them
It's
to
great.
execute Order 66. He goes on the fucking and then all the clones start betraying everybody.
Got,
No, do they attack the Jedi Council first? It doesn't really matter what order it's in, but
pretty sure
it's like almost
it's
simultaneously.
like, yeah, it's all at the same
Yeah,
time.
but they
Really.
basically like all the clones.
No, it's the temple first because Yoda senses that.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
It's like simultaneously,
yeah,
dude, basically, where all the Jedi get bitched out by their clones, like die in the most pathetic way possible.
yeah.
And
Dude.
I get it's like most of the time it's a surprise. Like I get like Plo Koon, yeah, he's in a ship, and then these guys like break and just shoot him. That makes sense. But then you have like or like the speeder thing, that kind of. But then like that one lady, her clones are like right fucking behind her,
Yeah.
and she just gets shot to death. Like
or Pinhead. He turns around and he can't deflect them. He just gets shut the fuck up.
It's like, dude, come on. Like you're gonna tell me that Obi-Wan is gonna just drop down in front of a whole fucking army, and then all the other Jedi though just get fucking annihilated by a couple clones. So it's like that. That has always pissed me off. I know it's always pissed our father off because like,
oh, we all know what he wanted.
Because like in he's a Gen Xer. Came out. He was he was a kid when the originals came out.
He hates these fucking movies.
Yeah, and his dream is always has been watching Vader kill all the Jedi,
hunt down and kill all.
And
the
honestly,
Jedi.
like that's always been my dream too. And like we do get a little bit of that in the Vader comic and stuff like that. The rest of the Jedi,
but see, like, and this is kind of off topic, but like the Kenobi show, it's more like his Inquisitors. Like, why does he have to have Inquisitors?
Even like
they're not cool.
Even in the games, like
yeah,
Fallen Order.
But in Force Unleashed, he had one apprentice, and he was a secret.
Yeah, but then Fallen Order, you have all the Inquisitors, and like I like those games, but I just there's no like visual media besides like the comic where like you get like a badass Vader like that. You know what I mean?
Prime Vader.
Yeah, and then you get like, and I understand like the Disney and stuff, they like to use him like sparingly, and I get it, but like as fans, I think that's something that everyone's always wanted to see. But specifically, that always makes me think of my dad.
You know how this is kind of it's kind of on topic, but kind of not. You know how there's like not really a lot of dialogue in Mad Max, Fury Road, but there's a lot of visual storytelling. I feel like that's how you would have to do a Vader.
Well, when I heard that
series or movie,
when I heard that they were doing the Obi-Wan show, and that because I had always, this is gonna get into like our fucking fan fictions here, but like me and my dad were writing something for a little bit where we were working on a like basically like a Vader Obi-Wan movie, very similar time frame as like Kenobi, where it'd be like almost Logan-esque, where it's like Obi-Wan doing his things and Vader doing his things, and then they kind of like meet at the end. But it would show like the trauma Obi-Wan's going through and Vader, but also him hunting down Jedi, and that's why Obi-Wan, and like it was this whole thing we were fucking writing. And then we heard the Kenobi show was coming out. We were like, all right, like no point in writing this shit fan fiction anymore, whatever. And then it just didn't deliver any of that shit that we
Nah.
wanted. It was very much just like a. I didn't like the Kenobi show. I highly recommend checking out Kai Patterson.
Yeah, I still haven't watched that.
Yeah,
But
he makes video. He basically turns these shows into movie versions, and like, because to me, except for the Mandalorian, every Disney show, Star Wars show that I've seen, and Andor, everything is just super dragged out to like make it show length, and he just cleans it all up, makes it a fucking movie how it should have been. Check out Kai Patterson
this
on
might be
Instagram.
a hot take, bro, but I don't care. I think any live action Star Wars has to be a movie.
Yeah, and that's the thing too. Is
if you want to do a show, animate it.
And that's I agree. And like, you just look at like, because I like, I've always wanted to see a Clone War style show, but it's the original trilogy or something, and switch the animation style up again.
Rebels.
Do like, yeah, like do a, but I mean like focusing on like Luke, Han,
sure.
like
yeah,
our main, like
not
they,
some
like they do with
side character.
like they do with Clone Wars, and like, you know, make it like a new animation style. Like do maybe try like Avatar, Last Airbender style, or like that'd be a cool visual looking. And like, I just think now, and like it's the same thing with Marvel, where you start putting all these shows out here, you're just diluting it, you're making it less accessible, and most.
I don't know. Star Wars to me is just meant to be watched in a theater.
Yeah, I feel you.
Like that is.
So let's get back on track here.
Yeah.
Just that moment though of like the Jedi getting killed like that, it brings up a lot of emotions.
Yeah.
Because it's just like, it's just not.
It makes you think of what could have been.
Yeah, and but you do get Anakin storming the temple with the and you get the badass theme with the clone troopers.
Basically, like Imperial March 2.0.
Yeah, but then George Lucas, instead of watching Anakin kill any of the Jedi, he chooses to make us watch him about to kill younglings. Like, that's what you're gonna choose to show. Yeah, Anakin's fucking evil now. Like, I would have loved to have seen.
It's just so jarring, man.
I would have loved to have seen him. It's a fucking kids movie, I get it, but you do PG-13 action all the time in Star Wars. I would have loved to have seen him like killing his first Jedi, like, because he cut off Mace's hand.
That's all you really get to see.
And Emperor finishes him off. I would have loved to have seen like his reaction to that, like the emotion it brings, and then okay, like he does it, and then now let's see him kill some other fucking Jedi. Right. Like, it's just like, okay, like, and I wouldn't even mind it if he like dogs him like the Emperor did. Like, okay, like at least we get to see something, you know what I mean?
And it would also just show how powerful he is.
Yeah, and like you get to see a little bit of it in like the fucking Obi-Wan Kenobi show.
Flashbacks.
It's like, it's Garbo though, dude. Like, I want to see the fucking shit on screen.
Yeah, I know.
I gotta pee again. Fuck.
For real?
Chugging water out here, man.
We're almost there.
Cool. All right.
So yeah, Order 66. You know, we barely get to see Anakin kill any Jedi. He's about to kill the younglings. They cut away.
Yeah.
Then they cut to Yoda on Kashyyyk, and he's like, his heart's breaking because he can feel all the Jedi dying. The clones try to get his ass, and he decapitates them. Chewbacca and Tarful take him to a little pod.
Yeah, and then we also get, while that's happening, Obi-Wan got shot down. His little lizard got fucking killed, and he falls into like some water. And they're basically just like, oh, he got his lightsaber back like right before that. Cody gives it to him. But they're basically like, nobody could have survived that. I don't know. Like, but they do look for him. Like, they search for him a little bit. And then they all, I think Bail like sends out, because Bail goes to the council.
Because it's burning.
Yeah, to see, or the Jedi Temple to see what's going on.
Because Padme sees the council burning. Bro.
Yeah, she's like
crying.
Yeah. Oh, and so yeah, we get Bail goes to the Jedi Council, the temple.
I keep saying
council. Yeah, I know. You throw me off. But yeah, so then he sees like all these clone troopers come up to him, and it's like, it's not safe, like. And
sorry, sir, it's time for you to leave.
So it is, and he goes back to his ship, and then the fucking youngling comes out.
George Lucas's son.
Was it?
Yeah.
I didn't even know that. He kills some clone troopers, and then fucking gets killed, and
Bail. No!
And then he barely escapes as he shoots away, and then I think he sends out like a message to them.
To Yoda
and Obi-Wan, I think, because then they
any surviving Jedi.
They all link up. on his. I guess they fund all the ships and fucking rebel ships and uh DOT because his ship is like white and it's like
Oh
you know what I
yeah,
mean.
yeah,
Like you've
yeah,
never
yeah.
seen that style before up until
Well,
this.
Bale is supposed to be like a rich.
Yeah, so I guess he supplies most of the ships of the rebellion. Or his planet does or some shit because now, yeah, all of a sudden they're all wearing like fucking a New Hope gear and
It's
like
very well.
it's a little weird. It's like all right, we'll get more into it later, but so yeah, so then Bale lets him know that there was like a distress signal being put out, but it's a trap, and so Yoda and Obi Wan are like we gotta like turn that off so that like no more Jedi come and
So they go back to the trap and fuck up all the clones,
yeah.
Obi Wan and Yoda.
Yeah, we get a couple deleted. There's a deleted scene. You ever seen this? Of where like they're like in disguise, but they're like it's very obvious. It's like they pull up in their robes, Yoda and fucking Obi Wan, and they're like, "Oh, like what's going on?" It's like some bullshit like that. And, like the clones are like, "What the fuck?" Like, 'cause remember like in the Lego game, how you it was Yoda and Obi Wan, you're in your cloak, and like I'm pretty sure that scene is in the game where like and that was like a real deleted scene.
Huh.
Yeah. Um. Yeah, and then also like in between that too, I think Anakin goes to Padme. Um and basically tells her like, yeah, they tried to fucking kill. He tells Padme that they tried to kill the uh Palpatine, and then she's like, we got to find Obi Wan, and we can trust him, and he's like, I'm not sure if we can. Basically, like, it's just telling her that the Jedi betrayed him.
Lying.
Yeah, and like, well, from his fucking point of view, I guess, or whatever. That's what he says, and that he has to go to Mustafar or whatever the fuck. He has the Emperor has like an important mission for him, and she's just really unsure. Uh, and C-3PO, I feel so helpless. Fucking
R2 goes with
yeah,
Anakin.
R2 goes with him. Um, yeah, that's basically that scene. I mean, like, I don't remember exactly what the fuck they say, but it's the gist of
Obi
it.
Wan shows up to Padme's crib.
Later, yeah, because
Pretty soon
well,
after.
because they remember they kill all the clones at the
Oh
temple,
right,
and
right,
then
right, right, right. They
uh,
see the footage.
yeah, they're gonna scrub the footage to see like who could have done this. Obi Wan's like, I have to know, and Yoda like knows. He's like, you're gonna
Nothing but pain will you find.
yeah, and then you see in like Anakin killing actual fucking people and like
He's
the
dogging them too, and
yeah,
it's like a little
and then
hologram.
I love how too like he doesn't even need to like pull up a different hologram. It just cuts to him like kneeling in front of the Emperor, telling him to like go to Mustafar or whatever the fuck. Um, that's just funny to me. Whatever. So then,
It's goofy.
yeah, and then Obi Wan goes to Padme trying to
I
figure
can't
out
watch
like
anymore.
where he is because the Palpatine doesn't specifically say Mustafar in that hologram,
Right.
and she doesn't want to help him because she thinks she's gonna kill him.
And then that's when he reveals like he basically has known this entire
Yeah,
time.
Anakin's the father, isn't he? Damn. Yeah, dude. I
I'm
heard.
so
I'm
sorry.
so glad that they got rid of like the deleted scenes of like I don't know if you know about these where like Obi Wan like Anakin thinks Obi Wan's trying to bone Padme basically.
What?
Yeah, like there's like a deleted scene where like they're having like a little private discussion and like Anakin's like eavesdropping or something and like just like the things they say like he thinks that Obi Wan like likes her or something like that.
What the fuck?
Yeah, so it's just like I guess like in the context of later on, it's like kind of why when he shows up, he's like extra fucking pissed.
He's like it's like on
Yeah,
site,
because he's like
yeah.
on her ship and like he's like oh, but like
And that's why he gets mad at her.
yeah, I guess like you don't need that. I don't like that at all,
Me either.
but I it makes sense to later on, I guess. But so Obi Wan
It makes sense from Anakin's fucked up
perspective,
perspective,
yeah.
yeah.
So but later on, Obi Wan just sneaks onto her ship and like hides there. So and then we get Anakin goes to Mustafar, uh, pops up, kills everyone. Oh, we Lord Vader, we've been expecting you. Just closes all the fucking doors.
Pretty sure you get the iconic music.
Yeah, and he slices everyone up, and then
Lord Sidious, promise
yeah,
us peace.
he cuts them and fucking, and then he turns, and his eyes are yellow. Badass looking moment.
But then he has a moment of like reflection where he's like on Mustafar looking out at the lava and he's
Uh,
like crying.
yeah,
And then that's when Padme shows
yeah.
up.
He looks up and she comes. I forgot about that part.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like he's like, fuck, I just fucking what did I do?
Yeah, and then
There's no going back after
she
that.
comes out and they embrace, and Obi-Wan told me you killed younglings. Uh,
Yeah.
and basically, I
You
don't
don't
remember
have to be afraid anymore, Padme.
uh something like they can't protect you. Only my new powers can do that.
Yes.
Yeah. Because she says, "Run away with me. We'll like go back to Naboo."
And have
Like
our
yeah.
baby.
And it's like, and basically,
Don't you see? We don't
I
have
have
to
to
hide
hide
anymore.
anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that they could, I
The
could,
Jedi turned against me. Don't you turn
yeah,
against
I
me.
can overthrow the Emperor.
I'm more powerful than the Chancellor. I can overthrow him.
Yeah, and then they can rule the. And she's, I don't believe
Together
it.
we can rule the galaxy. Make things the way we want them to be.
Yeah. I can't believe what I'm hearing. Obi Wan was right. I don't want to hear any more
Well,
about Obi
Obi-Wan.
Wan.
Dude, as soon as she said that,
Dude,
it was over.
yeah,
It was over.
exactly.
It was
Like
over.
those deleted scenes, dude. And
Because of Dude, and Obi-Wan just fucking
yeah, and then she's like,
he's like this, bro. And Anakin is looking up at him as she's still talking to him, and he's looking at Obi-Wan. He goes, because of Obi-Wan.
no, 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 no,
Yes.
because of Obi Wan. No, it's like Anakin, you're breaking my heart. You're going down a path I can't follow because of Obi Wan.
And
But
Obi-Wan's
no, but
standing
she is like,
there.
no, because of what you plan to do, because of what
Yeah.
you've done. And then Obi Wan's standing there, liar.
He just looks at her,
Yeah,
bro.
Obi Wan. Yeah. Uh,
You're with him.
you brought him here to kill me. Let her go, Anakin. Let her go. I know this whole fucking scene, dude.
Yeah.
And you just choke her. No. Fucking starts- oh. And then yeah, he finally releases her.
You turned her against me. You have done that yourself.
Yeah.
You will not take her away from me.
Your lust for power.
I've already done that.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah, dude. Do not lecture me, Obi-Wan.
I see through the lies of the Jedi. I do not fear the dark side as you do. Obi-Wan like bends down, touches her forehead. Anakin turns his back to him.
And then you get I love double exposure
Yeah.
in movies where they're both in frame. They're both focused. It's a
Close up of Anakin, and then behind him is Obi-Wan.
if you are not with me, then you are my enemy.
Only a Sith deals in absolutes. I will do that.
You will try. He does the backflip.
Yep. And
And
then you get the fight.
and you get a sick ass fight, and it starts off really fucking good. And
Well,
then
it kind of drags out a little
but
bit.
so then it cuts to we have two fights going on at once because then
Oh,
it cuts
fuck.
to Yoda confronting Sidious,
Dude, that scene is so goofy.
and then he walks in, shoots both the guards back.
Master Yoda, you survived.
Yeah,
Surprise?
yeah, and then
Your arrogance blinds you, Master Yoda.
doesn't he like
Now you will experience
yeah
full pain.
electrocutes him,
My
little
little
green,
friend.
and then it's just like that whole fight, dude. Like fucking
If so powerful you are, why leave?
yeah, the Emperor's like
You cannot stop.
reactions during that fight though, where they're doing like he electrocutes him and he's like catching it. Like, he's
Well,
like,
first he's like,
yeah,
and then he's like, oh.
yeah, he falls back. It's just so goofy because like you have old ass Ian McDermott
Versus a little frogman
versus
jumping
supposed
around.
to be old ass Yoda jumping around and like he's flipping around doing the fight, and then I do like Palpatine starts like throwing the things at him. Like okay, like that's a little more like that should just been like the whole fight, dude.
I do like the setting of the fight though.
Yeah, like it should.
It's in the fucking Senate.
Anytime it's a fight with Yoda or Palpatine, I would rather just watch them one up each other in the Force than
Yeah.
watch like a real lightsaber fight. Especially when you have another lightsaber fight going on.
Because and I don't want to hear anyone say like, oh well, then it wouldn't be as cool. No, have you seen Harry Potter?
Yeah, and
There's no real. They're just going like this.
and here's the thing too is like you have a whole nother fight going on at the same
right.
time.
So do you really need two?
You don't need
crazy
two.
choreographed
So then,
fights? No.
yeah, going back to the cooler fight. You have Anakin and Obi-Wan, and they're going down the fucking hallway, and then they get into the control room, and they fucking meet with the Force and push each other back.
They disable the shields.
That's when the shields get disabled, and Anakin does the jump overhand thing again onto the table, and then I think like
then Duel of the Fates starts playing.
yeah, then they do their like they start like tripping each other and like trying to like punch each other. Like Obi-Wan, he does a double front kick, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then I think Anakin trips him, and then that's when he like he grabs his lightsaber. He like lost it, and he goes down, and that's a cool moment where he's choking him, and he's trying to fucking, and then I think Obi-Wan just like kicks him off or something like that,
Yeah.
and then but then everything after that point gets a little much where they go out and they're fucking fighting, and
I mean,
then
there's that dope shot with the lava behind him.
that's cool, yeah, I will say. But then like once it gets onto like the little
Once they're running away from the lava,
yeah, and they're on like the
it's
bridge,
very insane.
and then they're swinging and
And
fighting.
they're swinging on a platform that's floating on a lava river. It's
Yeah,
very just like, okay,
and like it's gotta be hot as fuck, dude.
dude.
Like they're like sweating.
It does get a little bit better after they land on those little droids.
I like that part. Like I honestly think it should have been they have the like exchange and it's the lava, and then that lava
The bridge collapses,
yeah,
and
then
they fall, and then they land on the
they
droids.
literally
They didn't need that whole sequence of them riding on the.
I've never liked that part.
Yeah. And they're swinging at each other, and they get one good smack in, and it's like, why?
Yeah, and they land on those things, and you get a nice moment where I have failed you, Anakin.
Yeah.
I have failed you. Fucking
I should have known the Jedi were plotting to take over.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. My allegiance to the Republic, to democracy.
Yeah. You get a little exchange with them,
Yeah.
They get into a fight. Obi-Wan notices the bank and he jumps off.
Yeah. And then right before that too, just real quick, Yoda gets beaten.
Yeah.
And like
he kind of like runs away.
Does he like do they imply that he like breaks his back or something like that?
No, I don't think so.
Because there's you know what I'm talking about, where like he's hanging by his cape and then he falls and he like hits a thing like, with it, like his back hits a thing and then he falls and then he's like holding his back and then he like crawl and you never see him fight again after that. Like, do they imply
maybe they are implying
that this injury
that would be dumb as hell.
Took him out for the count? Like, I don't know.
That would be.
And then he just kind of is like, failed I have, and then he gives up and that's it.
Go into hiding, I must.
Yeah, and it's like, okay,
you're gonna try.
Oh,
once.
dude, we skipped over my favorite part of this fucking movie, and I can't wait to talk about it. So, after I don't remember exactly in the sequence of events when this happens, but the Emperor basically reveals that he was attacked by the Jedi.
Oh, to the Senate.
To the Senate, and basically you have,
Isn't Bale and Padme there?
Yeah, they're there because they get a message that there's an emergency Senate meeting, so they both show up. And it's like, here's the deal: is I understand that in these movies, the Senate is corrupt, the courts are corrupt. All these people love Palpatine; they think he's the greatest. They keep making him supreme champ and keep giving him more and more power.
And he just decides to make it an empire.
Yeah, and then in this moment, he basically says that an attack on my life has left me scarred, and that we're gonna kill all the Jedi, and we're gonna start the new galactic empire. Everyone's fucking cheering. Everyone's going crazy. Padme says the line, "This is how democracy ends," and thunderous applause. And it's just like everyone's just gonna go along with this.
Dude, no one objects to an empire.
And it's just like, and if you apply it to real context, it's ridiculous. Like, imagine like the most popular president in the fucking world, the most popular, and he says that the police attacked him and scarred him, so we're going to kill all the police and we're going to create a new police state without the old police.
Yeah.
And everyone's yeah, let's fucking go. Like, and so when you like really think about it, like, it doesn't make any fucking sense, and that's why like Star Wars should stay fantasy, I think, for the most part, and not try to take itself too seriously. And maybe I am taking that moment too seriously, but it's just so unfucking believable.
It really is.
So yeah, and that I just want to bring up that one part that always pisses me off. So then Obi-Wan goes under the bank.
Yep.
And you get the dialogue exchange between them.
Yeah.
And
Anakin does the dumbest shit ever.
Yeah, and you kind of assume that Anakin, like, every Jedi must have heard the story of how Obi-Wan beat Darth Maul. And I'm sure Anakin, ever since he heard that fucking story, is like, I want to fucking do that. I'm gonna do a fucking. But what's crazy?
And he thinks he's so good that he could do it to the guy who did it.
Who did it? And what baffles me the most, and this is why I think Anakin's dumb in this movie, is that don't try it. Obi-Wan says that,
Obi-Wan knows that he's gonna do
dude,
it.
like, don't do the move that I told you about. Like, I can just picture, like, in their training that Anakin tries this shit all the fucking time. Obi-Wan's like, it's not gonna work on me, dude. Like, and he goes for it, gets delimbed. Oh!
just like screaming in agony.
Yeah, just like it happens like that, where he cuts off his limbs.
Cuts off all the three remaining limbs he had.
And he just rolls. He rolls down. Yeah. Yeah. And then you get. I mean, honestly, for as much as I like shit on these movies, it is like a really nice moment. Even if I don't think it's the most well earned moment, because like we said, like in the beginning of this movie, their relationship feels so strong. It feels really good. You like their dynamic, and then the movie splits them up again.
Yep.
So I like you get like a total of like before they fight, maybe like 30 minutes of screen time together, and then it was like the same thing in Attack of the Clones, where like they had maybe like 40 minutes of screen time, and it's like you want to buy this brotherly bond between them and have this super heartfelt moment. And don't get me wrong, like, it still hits me. Like it's a really nice moment, just because of I think more so Ewan's acting and like Hayden's acting more so than anything else. But like it could have been even better, I think.
Yeah.
So
you were my brother. You were the chosen one.
You're supposed to bring balance to the force, not leave it in darkness. Anakin says, "I hate you," and
then he burns alive.
You were my brother, Anakin. I loved you. And then, yeah, he burns alive, and Obi-Wan makes the decision not to kill him.
He pretty much assumes that he's gonna die from, which is pretty fucked up.
Yeah, just lets him sit there and die.
Burn to death.
And I get like, okay, maybe he's mad at him, but like, you see that how vulnerable he is in that moment. It would have made a lot of sense for him just to like
put him out of his misery.
Yeah, but whatever. We need the original trilogy, so so he takes his lightsaber and he leaves him there. He grabs Padme, and then they leave. And then you do have the really, really great juxtaposition of Padme's giving birth.
And Vader's being born.
And
officially.
Palpatine comes and finds him. I sense Lord Vader's in danger. And
get a medical kit immediately.
Yeah, and I love too how it's like raining on Coruscant, and they bring him on the table, and you have the like eerie kind of music. And then it cuts back to like Padme, and like this decision to where she's not dying because being asphyxiated. I'm sorry, I'm bad at the word. Asphyxiated. I can't say it either. Being like constrained, being choked. She's dying because she's losing the will to live. And it's like the robot. She's losing the will to live. Like all of her vitals are normal.
We don't know why, but she's lost the will to live.
What? Like why couldn't she just have been dying because she's giving birth and she just lost a ton of oxygen? That could have been as easy as that. But whatever.
She died of a broken heart.
Dude,
what?
Lucas had to put that in there. She gives birth to the twins.
It was Beauty that killed the beast. Sorry.
Yeah, Jack Black.
King Kong.
And yeah, and Luke, Leia, and then there's kind of that where you don't know where she was gonna say.
I know they're still good at it.
Yeah, tell Anakin, and then she kind of like dies. Yeah. And then yeah, you get the kind of the funeral scene with that music and Vader, the helmet coming down, and then
crispy.
And I mean, this suit looks so fucking clean.
It's brand new,
and it's like it doesn't look anything like the New Hope suit, but it's like whatever.
Fine.
And then, so real quick, we'll just say like, okay, yeah. So then he wakes up and it's James Earl Jones.
Dude, his voice was peak.
Yeah. Where's Padme?
He sounded like Return of the Jedi Vader, but like better.
Yeah, I mean 2005, like
the sound. I'm talking about like the sound design.
He wasn't like
was like fantastic.
Yeah, James Earl Jones isn't like super old yet at that point.
Right. Whereas like in Rogue One, you can kind of hear.
But it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I know.
He does a good job. But yeah, so then, is she safe? Is she all right? And Palpatine sees in your anger.
You killed her. What? No, she was alive. I felt it. And he just crushes that scene. That scene would have been so much better if it didn't have the no.
Yeah, and like,
Why couldn't he have just like the
oh,
entire room? He was just
but that,
destroying.
and people always say like, oh, like it just shows like the pain that he was feeling. Like I can see it. I don't need to hear it, and
Right.
you can see Palpatine like smiling.
Ah!
Yeah. So we got through
What an
that.
evil motherfucker! Like he got what he
So
wanted.
then we get to the worst part of the movie. So it's after her funeral,
Oh, the set
and
pieces.
it's just like so. Then they're on
Yeah, bro. This bothers me so goddamn much.
Bale's ship, which is
Okay, picture A New Hope, right? The beginning of A New Hope. Okay.
yeah, and so they're on Bale's ship that looks exactly like A New Hope style ships, and then uh they're talking about like Obi-Wan's gonna bring the boy to fucking um his parents or his family on Tatooine.
Uh,
Bale's gonna take Leia.
Owen and Lars, or
Yeah,
Lars and Shmi. No, not. I'm sorry.
it's just Lars. I mean, Uncle Owen and Peru.
Peru. Right,
Yeah.
right, right.
But yeah, they're part of the Lars family, and uh, Bale's like, I'll take the girl. Me and my wife always want a baby girl. And then you get the quick moment where Yoda's like talking to Obi-Wan is like, you need a voice from the other side. Qui-Gon. He's gonna teach him how to, and you don't even get to see it.
No,
And it's like, dude,
that
like
would have been cool to see Liam Neeson.
it would just would have been cool to like, okay, like they tease you with this, like, okay, like you're gonna learn how to talk to Force Ghosts. Awesome. Never get to fucking see it. Okay, whatever. And then we get to Bale leaves C-3PO and R2 take care of these droids, and it's fucking Captain Antilles.
Yeah.
They're on the ship with Captain Antilles for 20 fucking years.
Mm-hmm.
And you're like, okay, and then it's
But Captain Antilles is the captain in
A New
A New Hope
Hope.
of the
Yeah.
same ship, by the way.
Same ship, and then we get to Vader and Palpatine. He walks out to the fucking thing, and then
They're on the Star Destroyer,
there
which,
are
by the way, the Star Destroyers are already like almost looking like how they look.
yeah, and they already are wearing their uniforms. Like, where the fuck did these come from?
Yeah,
The
the
gray,
officers are wearing.
yeah, and like and like he already replaced the infrastructure of Jedi's and clone
I mean,
generals.
granted, there's no sense of like how long it's been, but
I
you get the
but
sense
the
that it's right.
but it okay, but
It's right
there
away.
it's juxtaposed with the scenes of them taking the kids, so you
Yeah,
assume it's right after,
right. You
and
have to.
then
You have to.
and so it's their fucking Death Star is already being built, 20-year project, and then you have fucking Grand Moff Tarkin, which is just some dude in makeup to make
Hmm.
him look like it's him, and they're all just like, yep, yep, we'll be here in 20 years,
Yeah,
like it's
literally.
just like
And then you get Obi-Wan drops Luke off, and like Lars, like Uncle Owen and Emperor are just looking at the twin sons, and it's like, holy fuck, like this is.
you could have just had it end with like the twin sons. You could have taken out the Death Star thing, take out C-3PO R2D2, and that time that you've taken out, replace it with Obi-Wan learning how to use the Force to talk to ghosts.
Let's see Qui-Gon.
Yeah,
Let's
like
see Vader.
I would have I don't know. I mean, cuz you're left to assume, I mean, and this is later on in the fact that Obi-Wan has to learn that he lives somehow because this is before Kenobi,
Hmm.
because he in A New Hope he knows that Vader is alive. So I think that could have been an interesting moment too, where maybe they talk to each other through the Force or like something. You don't get anything like that. I think it would have been a much cleaner ending than just trying to like, all right, everyone get in your places for A New Hope. Like
Yeah,
it's just kind
literally,
of
that's literally
it's
what it is.
yeah. So that's Revenge of the Sith.
Rating?
I don't know. I've kind of gone back and forth. To me, it's like a really, really strong 7. I was gonna say it's not quite a 7.5, but I'd say it's like a 7.
Movie's like a 5.5.
5.5?
Yeah,
Same rating as would you give Attack of the
I
Clones?
gave Attack of the Clones like a 4.
You gave it a 5.
No, I didn't. I
Did
gave
you?
it a 4.5.
Really? I don't
I gave
remember.
Phantom Menace a 3.5.
Yeah, you've been consistently lower than me on most of these. Really, a 5.5?
5.5. To me, it's. 'Cause what's a 5 out of 10 average?
Yeah.
So you're saying this movie's above average
Yeah, I'd say it's above it because I think the
for a Star Wars movie? It's above average.
yes. Now that there's so many Star Wars movies, it's definitely above average. if you're talking about real averages, where you have
Okay, but
it's like right in the middle.
as outside of a Star Wars movie, it's a
Outside
5.
outside of a Star Wars movie, I think this one has the best pacing. It has the best action. It has the you have the least amount of Jar Jar. You look confused.
This is the best action out of all the Star
I'm
Wars
talking about
movies.
out of the prequels.
Okay,
It has the. I'm specifically talking about the
my bad, brother.
prequel. Right now, I'm talking about the prequel movies that we've talked about so far. I think this one clears them in every way because you have the least Jar Jar, the
Jar
be-
Jar's barely in it.
the best character moments. I think Ian McDermott is really able to flex in this movie. Like, he just has the best moments of the
No,
prequels,
true, true, true,
and I
true, true,
think
true.
that in the grand context of Star Wars, I think it is like right in the middle for me, where I think it's this is the one that it's like, okay, they start to get good now. Like, I think this is like it's not
No, bro.
you don't even think it's good. You think it's average.
I think Rogue One is better.
I think Rogue One's better.
Rogue One's a 7, not Revenge of the Sith.
Okay. I don't know. Like, I don't
To
know.
me,
I think 7 just because, like, to me, like a 6, 6.5, something like that.
like, would I rather watch Revenge of the Sith or Solo?
Revenge of the Sith.
Revenge of the Sith. So that's why I'm gonna give Revenge of the Sith a 5.5. Maybe a 6.
Mm-hmm.
Solo's about a 5.
And I understand where you're coming from, though, because there is so many things that I don't like about this movie and that I would have done differently, or just I would have liked to seen done differently.
Yeah.
And there is a lot of that. But I think that for me too, it's hard not to like incorporate some of the nostalgia,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
some of like the goof factor to it. Honestly, because if I feel that way about something like Spider-Man 3, where like some of the goof makes it kind of good, I kind of feel the same way about this too.
But that movie's also very self-aware.
And that's the thing, is that this isn't
It's
supposed to
not.
be.
It's not supposed to be funny.
It's not supposed to be, but I guess I don't know. That's just how I feel about it. I think if I would have watched this 2 years ago,
It's like we said in the beginning. We found more of an appreciation for this film
well, that's what I was
because
gonna say.
we've learned to laugh at the stupid shit.
Yeah, and I think if you would have asked me 2 years ago, I probably would have said like 5.5. But
Yeah.
I think I've grown to appreciate more of the things that I used to kind of not really care for, I guess.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna stick with my. I'm gonna 5.8.
And yeah, I think the decimal, because I think what's going to be interesting is when we rank all of them at the end. Yeah, you might give it a 5.5, but it might be like your fourth favorite. You know what I mean? Just because the Star Wars movies are so inconsistent.
Yeah.
So yeah, look forward to the ranking because I am curious where it's going to land in terms of the grand scheme of all the movies.
Right.
Yeah, so I think I gave this one a 7. I believe I gave Attack of the Clones a 5.5, and I think I gave Phantom a 4, 4.5.
That movie's fucking dumb.
Yeah, so I think for me, Phantom Menace is the clear one where there's more bad than good. Obviously,
Yeah.
Attack of the Clones, I think it's almost dead even between the good and bad. And for this one, I think there is more good than bad. That's why it bumps up than the other ones for me.
Okay.
But yeah, man, that's what we got to say. So now,
What's next?
so I think next would be, I kind of wanted to do all the Disney ones together. Like, so we'll do.
Oh, so you don't want to do
No, I mean we can still make them separate videos, but I think like the next series would be the OT, and then the next series after that would be the Disney ones.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So the original trilogy is gonna be next.
So A New Hope will probably be next.
We might do an episode again where we
Well, we got Spider-Man coming up.
right. Spider-Man's gonna be every Spider-Man movie is gonna be re-released in the theaters. I think April 15th is Spider-Man 1.
Yeah.
We're gonna check our local theaters
Yeah.
and see if they're showing them.
And I think even still, if they're not showing them, we'll probably just we could do videos on them anyway.
But you know what? We'll most likely, because I remember you said last time you wanted to do one video for all 3 Spider-Man movies.
Yeah, each video will be its own actor, basically.
Okay, right. So what most likely will happen is we'll probably have a New Hope episode before we have a Spider-Man one.
Yeah, I kind of wanted to get into that a little bit about some upcoming things where your work schedule is changing within the next 3-4 weeks.
So by the end of this month,
Mhm.
literally the last Monday of this month, which is like the 28th or the 29th, I will be on like a normal schedule.
Yeah, so I think we'll have a more consistent filming schedule.
Really, it'll just be on you now.
Yeah.
Your schedule's still going to be kind of
yeah. So I always say, like I work 24 on, 48 off.
Our goal from the beginning is to have an episode every Saturday,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
But here's the problem. But we both work irregular
yeah,
schedules.
yeah,
Like where week to week it's inconsistent.
yeah,
So one week I might have the weekend off, he might have to work.
yeah.
So it's very difficult right now just to find a time to film.
So I think what would be nice though is like, since now your schedule is going to be the same every time during the week,
I'll basically have all my mornings free.
so we should at least have 3 to 4 mornings where there's the potential to film now.
Exactly.
So
Whereas now there's like one day.
yeah. So now I think we'll be able to get one episode out every Saturday. Maybe we'll be able to film a couple episodes in a week to do more things.
I'm gonna be going on vacation in 2 weeks. I'll be gone for like 11 days.
Yeah, so we'll try maybe hopefully to film something before you leave.
Yeah, we probably will. Cause I don't leave till the 17th
Mhm.
of April, so
Yeah, so
we'll probably be able to do A New Hope.
yeah, so I'm hoping by the time May comes around, we'll be having at least one episode every Saturday.
Yeah,
We should be able to film more episodes, so maybe we can do 2 in 1 week or something, because there's a lot of things I know we want to talk about, and we only have so much time.
and I know this is kind of premature, but after we finish our Star Wars like saga of episodes, we have a lot of different branches we can go down.
Yeah.
And maybe we could get your guys' feedback on like what you would want to hear us do after this. We have a lot of ideas. We want to do Lord of the Rings. We want to do.
We're gonna do Spider-Man.
Spider-Man.
I've been really want to get into some like director rankings and things like that. I think that'd be a lot, because I think it'd be really fun just to kind of like.
Not every episode is gonna be how these Star Wars ones.
You saw with the Dune one, that was just kind of like, we just talked about both movies in one episode, and we didn't really go beat for beat with the plot.
Not entirely.
But I think it'd just be fun, the dynamic of like seeing our differences in opinion and having it'd be a more interesting conversation.
Because as far as Star Wars goes, our opinions are very similar.
Very similar, because we grew up in the same house.
We're either gonna glaze one of these.
Yeah,
probably all of these.
Get ready for that.
Yeah. We're gonna glaze the fuck out of them. But like once we start to get into other like genres and other directors and other types of movies, we do. I mean, I know for a fact we have different opinions about certain movies.
Yeah.
So
I also think too, like in terms, I know like I make a lot of TikTok content I've been working on and things like that. I do want to start maybe making some stuff for Instagram.
Yeah, I gotta get on the TikTok.
Maybe, yeah, dude, fucking, you gotta get your letterbox up, dude. Like you made the account, and then
I've made my letterbox. I haven't done anything with
it. So we can put a link for it in the Instagram. Yeah. But I do want to start making some Instagram stuff and maybe some YouTube shorts, or maybe some short little videos, just because TikTok may not be around for much longer.
We'll see.
Well, it might be getting banned, so I want to start getting some videos out on other platforms, so that just in case that goes away. Because this month I was actually thinking about making a video about all the movies I saw this month, but I just didn't see enough things, like enough new releases, because I was watching House of the Dragon and I just kind of slacked. Like I was gonna go see Kong, I was gonna go see fucking Frozen Empire, but I just was like, do I really? And Kung Fu Panda 4, I heard it's written by AI or some shit. So it's like, do I really want to go watch these?
Cash grab.
That's
what I heard.
Yeah, so I'm hoping in April, I'll watch more stuff and I'll make like a YouTube video about all the new releases I saw. Get some stuff out on there. Yeah, man, you got anything else though?
I think I'm good. I said everything I need to say about Revenge of the Sith. It's a good time. Not the best Star Wars movie ever. Certainly not one of the best movies ever.
I think Revenge of the Sith is the perfect movie to watch with like a bunch of people that know Star Wars.
Because it's just a meme good time.
Yeah, really. And you take a drink every time fucking something happens. It's a good, I think that's when it's at its best. But yeah, man, that's all I got really. I think. Yeah, make sure you follow us on socials. We got the Instagram, YouTube. You can follow me on TikTok. I got links in there for other shit. But till next time.
Peace.